Got some incredible things to show you folks today, and I'm especially excited about this. It is one of a kind, and I mean, I stand to make a boatload off of that.
A 1 and a 2 and Rusty the reseller, he'll sell you the shirt off his back. Well, I have done it.
How you do, folks? It's old Rusty. I went to an antique store today, folks, and you will never believe what I came across. Let me show you real fast kind of what my process was like. I'll show you the stuff I picked up, what I think it's valued at, maybe a couple of tips to help you when you're reselling stuff. Let's do it! You never know what you're going to find when you hit these antique stores and thrift stores. I came out just with a handful of items today. Believe it or not, though, what you're looking at cost me about $450. Now, the majority of that, as you can see, was this one item, but we'll get to that. Let's do some of these others first, and I'll talk about it. Anytime I can find pocket knives, folks, for under $5, especially if they're vintage antique ones, even if they're not in the best condition, I'll pick them up. One reason is because they're functional items that even though they're old, people can still use. A lot of times there's various brands that people collect. And as a general genre, knives and pocket knives sell very well on online platforms like eBay and even in other places like at antique stores and stuff like that. They're great as little gifts. They're small. They're easy and lightweight to ship. And so I love it. This is a brand called Camillus, and it has a number on the other side of the blade, 21. This particular one has got a bone handle on it. Okay, so that's one thing that kind of lets you know, okay, the quality of this is a little bit higher. They're not just using basic plastic. They're using a harder material, something that is organic, that also kind of dates it. They were using antler, horn, bone, and things like that back in about the 40s, 1940s, 1950s is probably when this was made. Cost me $2. Over here we got this nice little watch. It is a Tissot brand watch, and I need to wind her up again, but it works. This is the model, so the brand up here is this, and then underneath here it says C-Star, and C-Star is the model. If I zoom in, you're going to see that this is a Swiss, has a Swiss movement. You have a place here where you can have the date. The glass on this is a little bit scratched, but it's not terribly off-putting. You can still see through it. It still operates correctly. And if you roll it over here and look at the back of it, it gives you information. It has a mineral crystal in it. It tells you the brand. I don't know if this is the original band or not, but it's a silver tone until you get up here, and then it alternates gold and silver. It's fairly worn, but for a watch of this age, it's probably, I don't know, 1970s, maybe a little older, maybe 1960s, in working condition. It's a decent brand. I paid $20 for this. This is probably a $75 to $100 watch, so not too horrible. Let's move on. Sitting down below me here is this. And let you get a little look-see here at it. Let me move it over here and zoom in. We have a G, some sort of a strange dots here, 48 is what we're looking at here. And as we pull it up, you can see this is kind of dark in the center, and then a silver tone on the outside. And so, folks, what this is this is a candle stopper. So you would, back whenever people were using candles, more often maybe than they do today, at the dinner table or things like that, or just for light in the hallway, you'd hold on to this, and then you put it up and you'd push it down. It would tamp out the candle. It's a snuff, like it snuffs it out. And so, but coming back again to this, when you're looking at things that are silver in color, utensils like this, any type of flatware or silverware, you always want to look on the inside on the stem and on the back side on the stem, and even on the end sometimes, because you're wanting to see the manufacturer if you see it, or also indications that it may be made out of silver or precious metal. I was not terribly familiar with this, but a quick search on Google Lens, which is the little button when you're searching on your phone. If you're in Google, like a search engine, you can click that little icon and it will search other things on the internet that look like this. I found that the G stands for Garrity. Garrity is the manufacturer, and this is a silver plate. Silver plated, so the outer portion of it is made out of silver, candle snuffer, like I thought. I paid $8 for this, and you know, it's probably not worth all that much more than. And I took a chance because I wasn't familiar with these numbers. I can get my $8 back. I'm not concerned about that. I might be able to sell it for a little bit more, especially if I polish her up and it looks nice. Or I might even just keep it to put out candles here at the warehouse. We've discussed this before, but I never know who's watching what video. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. We would sure appreciate it if you subscribed and checked out our other playlists on other types of antiques and collectibles, and just a variety of knowledge. This whole channel is here to try to teach you and help you learn. The reason I bought these glasses, which cost me $6, were because they are gold plated. Now these have a very unusual kind of shape here. We've got they're sort of oval, but not perfect ovals. They're you know, it's almost got like 7 or 8 sides, 6 or 8 sides rather. Right here inside of the stem, well, the nose guard, the nose rim here, and also right here on the sides that open up, right on this inside right here, finagle this here, right in here, there is writing, okay, and you can kind of see there's writing, and then over here it's stamped and it says 12K GF. GF stands for gold filled. That means that on the other side it said 1/10 12K GF. That means 1/10 of this, 10% of the outer portion that you're seeing, this gold color, is solid 12 karat gold. $6 is fine. I like to get these for $3 to $5 when I can, because I can regularly sell them for between $14 and $20 on average. Sometimes if they're the kind of the John Lennon looking glasses, the perfectly round antique ones from the early 1900s, late 1800s, those can go for quite a bit more. And then certain brands can also go well. But always take a look. Sometimes you'll find ones that are more than 1/10 or 1/20 gold filled. But this was pretty standard. It was what I expected, so I'm happy for that. Now, the next 2 items here I want to show you I'm very excited about. This one, I find things that look sort of like this pretty often that are very small and curled up, little bugles, little horns. Oftentimes they are made as ornaments for Christmas trees. Sometimes they're functional, sometimes they are not. This one is set up, would originally have had either some sort of a leather strap or a chain connecting the 2 of these, so that it could be both hung on a wall or in a spot to hold on to it, or even as a way of attaching it to a person's body when they were out. Now, I've seen different descriptions of what this is. Some people call it a bugle, some people call it a horn, some people call it a call, like a hunting call, something you'd use for hunting. Others have called it a siren, something that could have been used by old firemen back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. To be honest with you, I have not done enough research to know if this is made for hunting or if this is made for someone who was a fireman or anything in between that. But I'll tell you, knowing exactly what its purpose is will help me to describe it accurately and price it the best. If I start to show you around, this has definitely got a silver tone. You can see up here that there's some green oxidization here. This is a deterioration of the metal. Seeing that is a pretty good indication that this is not made out of sterling silver. If it were made out of sterling silver, it would not be deteriorating in that way because silver does not corrode in that way. It may tarnish, but it does not corrode. So this to me is either some sort of chrome metal or maybe silver plated. You can see it's got like a little mouthpiece in here. This would have been made as a call to either alert an animal or a person of something. But I want to show you this. I've been kind of holding around. This is what we're looking at here. Abercrombie and Fitch. And I don't know if that says G2 or C2 or O2. I think it says maybe can't quite tell. New York, made in England. So you may have been have heard of or familiar with Abercrombie and Fitch, which is a manufacturer of clothing, particularly for teenagers, also adults, but you know, they can be found or could at least at one point in time at different types of malls and things like that, department stores. But I guess Abercrombie and Fitch goes way back. They go back to the early 1900s. Up into maybe the 40s, 50s. I don't know when they switched over or even if it's the same company, but I am going to do something real risky here. I'm going to put my lips on this thing. I've already cleaned the end of it as good as I could, and I'm going to see what kind of a noise it makes. All right, well, you bear with me here. All right, we're going to see. Whoa, that is so loud. Oh man, it's like a honk, like a goose or something. Man, I wonder what this was for. I paid $95 for this, folks, and that is a high price, but the only other one I saw for sale on eBay right now was listed for $350, and it had 17 watchers. So old Rusty's gonna roll in there. Price is at $300, and hope I get a bite immediately. All right, folks, on to the main attraction here. All those were just previews of other things to come, but this one, folks, is why you stuck around, hopefully this long. You guessed it. If you said, hey, that's a tobacco pipe, you're not wrong. That is exactly what this is. And let me tell you a couple things about tobacco pipes. First of all, they are beautiful. They are works of art. A lot of times, especially higher end varieties, are hand carved out of briarwood. That's what this is. And briarwood is not a wood that comes from a tree. However, it is out of a root. That's correct, like the root ball out of I believe it's a bush. But anyhow, they dig up these root balls and then they carve this. It's a very dense, very hard type of wood, but it has beautiful grain, as you can see here. This is a very gorgeous straight grain. You can see there's a little bit of a dent up here. It's fairly superficial. You can see it, but this is not super shiny, but it has got a gorgeous grain on it. This vertical grain. If I turn it over on the bottom rather, you can see what is more of like a bird's eye, kind of like a bird's eye maple would look like, with these little round dots that look like little eyeballs. And that's just you're looking at the way that it grew from a different direction. It's very beautiful. When I saw it in there, I thought to myself, I've never seen one that looks like this, that is adorned in this way with this kind of multicolored floral pattern, both on the top of the bowl and also on the stem. Now let me show you exactly what my experience was like. I saw it in here like this. I saw this was connected to it, and it said $375. This is one-of-a-kind pipe, special made. See papers for more info. And so, of course, I asked the lady to come and open the case for me so I could take a look at it. So she came, she opened it up for me, and this is what I read. I pulled this up and I'll read it to you. Savinelli. All right, great. Well, first off, I am familiar with that name. That is a brand name of pipes. I believe they're Italian. 80s bought in the 1980s, but they are not sure. Autograph. It says the O is on the back side where stem is inserted to shank of pipe between gold flowers. All right, so take this. Here's the shank. This is where the stem, the mouthpiece is inserted. So what we need to do is we need to look around this portion here. I'm going to zoom in, and there you have it. Savinelli Autograph. It is marked as such. All right, let's go back to this. Between gold flowers, the pipe is straight up grain. So yes, the grain is vertical. Hand carved from briar root. All right, so it is briar root. Gold flowers, and here's where it gets interesting, folks, are 3 colors, 14K to 20K solid gold by Joe Walker, handmade. All right, so now we're talking, folks. What we're looking at here is 14, 18, and 20 karat gold flowers. I don't know which is which. There is this white gold. There is this, what you probably call more of a green gold. And then you have this, which is more of a rose gold. These have been, essentially they took this one singular piece to wrap around that is that more yellow or what a green type gold. They then drilled small holes underneath of each of these, and then they soldered these different carat purity gold flowers and different colors, of course, onto the end of this one singular piece, and then they had a little stem of gold metal on the back of each of these, which fit down into, I don't want to pry this too hard, but you can kind of see how that is set. Almost like the stem in the back of an earring, like a post that would go through an ear. This instead is on the back, and they drilled a little hole into the briar, they put it on the back, and then they clamped it down around this to give it a little bit of strength and integrity to hold it in place. Same thing around the stem here. And it's amazing. This is what you would call an estate pipe because it has actually been used. You can't see down in there. You can see a little bit of grime on this little flower here. Someone actually has used this. Could not have used it a lot because it is still in very good condition and there's not a lot of damage or discoloration up here. The bowl inside, if you could see deeper inside of there, you can't because it's so dark. But I can put my finger in. I will get a little bit of black, so a little bit of residue from the charred tobacco that had been cooked in there, but just an absolutely gorgeous piece, no doubt one of a kind. So this was created and manufactured by Savinelli brand. I do believe that it was hand carved. I don't, however, believe that Savinelli made this adornment. I believe this individual, Joe Walker, as they say, or perhaps someone else, actually did a custom job, took a beautiful and somewhat valuable Savinelli autograph pipe, and then did this custom job out of gold on it. I have not ever seen another one like this. There is nothing like this for sale currently on eBay. Nothing has sold like this in the last 90 days. I don't believe that there's another one like it. If anyone has ever seen one on here, please let me know. All right, let's talk about price. So Rusty, what are you going to do with this? How do you price something like this that is one of a kind, potentially between 30 and 40 years old? That is a great question. Let's talk about it. All right, folks. So what we got here is we're right here on eBay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Savinelli. All right. That is the brand name of the pipe. There's a lot for sale here. I want to show you just 2 or 3 things, and this is how I kind of determine how I'm going to price something like this. The first thing you're going to notice is that there are over 1,900 items, Savinelli pipe items. So less than 2,000, or at least around 2,000. That's not a lot. I mean, if you look up books, maybe millions. If you look up t-shirt, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of t-shirts. Savinelli, less than 2,000. So I don't want to know what people are selling right now. I kind of want to see what's sold and what the prices are. So I'm going to slide down this page till I have the spot where it says sold items. I click on sold items, and then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on highs first. I want to see what are the most things. I want to draw your attention first off to show that in the last 90 days, 1,300 plus items have sold. So, if you know anything about eBay, there's a thing called sell-through rate. It's very important. When you're looking for an item and you want to figure out whether or not it's worth buying, you kind of want to see if those things are selling very much. For every 100 that are out there, how many sold? Did 2 out of 100 sell? Or out of every 10,000, how many sold? 1,300 out of 1,900 available have sold roughly in the last 30 days. That's like a 60-70% sell-through rate, which is enormous. Usually, if I see something that's 8 or 10% sell-through rate, that's pretty incredible. This is a high sell-through rate. So that tells me that this is a very in-demand item. That's a great thing to see. Now, if we look at the top, most of the high-selling things here, 1,150, 1,100, 1,091, these are all lots of multiple Savinelli pipes. That is not a good comp, right? I'm selling one. That's what I want to sell. So all I want to do is I want to scroll down until I find the first pipe that a single one sold. And what did that sell for? Right here. New Savinelli autograph. We're in luck. Mine is a Savinelli autograph. Freehand, freeform, large, polished. This looks new, though. Just based on the picture, I could take a deeper dive. It doesn't look like it's ever been used. So this is probably, and it even says brand new here. It's not what they would call an estate pipe. An estate pipe is just one that's been used. But they took a best offer off of $750. Next one, same thing. Autograph, it's new. Took an offer off of $500. Here's another one, $440. Scrolling down. So we're having some. Here's the first one that we found that didn't take accept an offer that is an autograph, and this one is pre-owned like mine, so $343. Now I paid $375 for mine, so this is roughly in the same range, but mine is a one of a kind and it has a lot of gold on it. So let's take a look at what the gold value might be. All right, what I have done now is I have searched here for what the price per gram of different carat purities of gold is. Today, in July of 2022, here is the chart. It's showing me that 14 karat gold per gram is worth selling for $32.36. 18 karat is $41.63, 20 karat is $46.24. Now, this ring on my hand weighs roughly 6 grams. I believe that if I were to take all the gold off of that pipe, it would be somewhere in that 6 to 7 gram range in total. But we have 3 different carat purities. It said between 14 and 20 karat. I'm just going to approximate and say it's probably a 14, an 18, and a 20. They just took those tiers and went up. If that was the case, we'd be looking at 2 grams of 20K, 2 grams of 18K, and 2 grams of 14. So we're looking at, 92 here, 82 here, and 64 here. So we're looking somewhere in the range of $230 some worth of just gold scrap weight that is on here. But it's not just blobs of gold. It's something that an artisan has crafted. They have created. It's 3 different types of gold. You have the artistic look of it. And it's on a pipe, which is already something that there's a high demand for. There's nothing like it for sale. So what do I do in that case? Well, I'm probably going to take the highest price that a single pipe sold for that was used, $340 some. I'm going to add the gold price in, $230 some. So we're in the $600 and some range right now. Then, because there's nothing like it out there, I'm going to double that. I'm going to put this thing up for probably between $1,200 and $1,400 in the beginning, just because I think maybe there is somebody out there who is a pipe collector who's looking for something unique, something different, something to show his or her buddies or friends, and say, hey, look at this thing that I got. Look at this gold encrusted Savinelli pipe that I've got. If I could sell something at that price, I would not feel bad at all about spending $375 to pull in $500, $600, $700 in profit. When you see unique, custom, one-of-a-kind items like this, and you do a bit of research to see that there's nothing like that selling, but it isn't a category that's selling really well, that is a very good position to be in. What do you think, folks? Am I crazy for listening it so high? Do you think that that's gonna sell? How long do you think it'll take old Rusty to sell it? Should I smoke it once before I sell it? I mean, what do you think? I think it was a cool thing. I was glad to find it. Folks, don't be afraid of things that cost $200, $300, $400 out there. Maybe more than you're used to spending. Do your research. There are a lot of times when spending up can really make sense. You can still make 4 or 5 times what you spent, and it's the same amount of time to do the research and list it as something that cost you $5, but the payout and the payback to you is much larger. Good luck out there, folks. See you soon.
Let's go find some treasures. Rusty, Rusty, Rusty